So good evening, everybody from K.S.Varier Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited. Uh, Today is our 16th webinar, part of the series, webinar series. On taken This series is actually for the awareness of people, not only for doctors, also for our patients and as well as the general public, where people understand what Ayurveda can give them. So with that in mind, uh, many elderly people actually ignore joint pains and body aches as a part of aging and would rather self medicate or quietly endure them. But these untreated aches and pains can become chronic and disrupt their daily activities. So whenever the definition of inflammation has four aspects in it, of which one is actually loss of function. So when there is a loss of function, then it is going to affect you, then it becomes a complaint. So even then people try to adjust with it. So still today we have one of our eminent speakers to talk about this topic, that is aches and pains of the elderly. The speaker here is Dr. D. Srikrishna Desikacharulu. Um, a brief profile of Dr. D. Srikrishna. Dr. Srikrishna did his B.A.M.S in Shree, Dharmasthala, Manjunatheshwara College of Ayurveda, Udupi. He's currently an Ayurveda. He did his MS in MD in Panchkarma. He is currently an Ayurvedacharya and director of Shree Ayurvedic Multi-speciality Hospital and Ayurvedasramam Private Limited, Chennai. He is also the CEO and planning committee member of Shree Hospitals Group. Now you can see Shree behind him. It's a wonderful picturization of the devoted wording there, Doctor. So apart from these, Dr. Shri Krishna is the joint secretary of National Ayurveda Students and Youth Association, Tamilnadu, and the past president of Business Network International, Chennai. He has also been a writer in Food and Health magazine, Chennai. Dr. Sri Krishna is a descendant of Vaidyaratnam Pandit D. Gopalacharulu, sixth generation in the family of Ayurvedic physicians, born to late Dr. D. Desikacharulu and Dr. D. Jayashree. He has introduced and established Ayurvedic surgery division in Shree hospitals along with Dr. D. Jayashree in 2016, successfully cured more than 50 patients from repeated problems like piles, fistula, etc., and also instrumental in initiating inpatient department at Shree Hospitals, West Mambalam branch, Chennai. He also spearheaded holistic approach by including yoga, medical astrology, neurolinguistic programming, pranic healing, etc., under the umbrella of services provided at Shree Hospitals. He has also participated in World Ayurvedic Conference held in Kolkata and in awareness programs of Ayurvedic systems of healing and more than 130 medical camps with consultation in corporate companies, TVS, Hindustan Motors, Infosys, etc., as a part of Shree Hospitals Group. Dr. Sri Krishna has conducted many health awareness programs and is organizing continued educational program biannually for Ayurvedacharyas in the Ayur Health Circle in Chennai. We are glad to have him as the speaker for this webinar to share his experience and to guide us on how to approach and treat these aches and pains of older adults through Ayurveda. I would also like to add that I have been happy to have known Dr. Shri Krishna even before, right from the days of National Ayurveda Student Youth Association, where I was also involved on the part of Karnataka. So I was the president for Karnataka branch of National Ayurveda Student Youth Association. So I'm very happy to have you here, Dr. Shri Krishna. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and giving us your time. I would like to give over the stage to you, Doctor. Before that, I would like to just remind everybody that you can all put yourselves on mute today and go through the session. If you have any questions or queries, you can actually add these queries at the end of the program, or you can actually put it in the chat box. If it is in the chat box, whenever you have the questions, you can just put it continuously. Dr. Sri Krishna and I could coordinate on looking at these questions and answering these questions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dhanvantari Maha. Thank you, Dr. Girish, for this wonderful introduction. And special thanks to Ashtanga Ayurvedics and the entire team behind it. I think we have our MD and Executive Director, Shashi sir, and the entire team over here. So, really, thanks for this warm welcome. And thanks for the invite to this webinar session. And special thanks to Dr. Girish for having me over here. Well, as Dr. Girish has mentioned, that the focus has been on the elderly, and that's the topic of the day. So, to directly move forward into that particular space, so Dhanvantari Namaha, I think Dr. Girish has done all the justice there. Coming to geriatrics, that is the elderly, I think it is for us to understand why care and concern for them is a lot more needed than the general other age groups in the society. So if you see, there are, as per the Ayurvedic classics, the age groups are divided into four. That is the Brahmacharya Avastha, Grihastha Avastha, Vanaprastha Ashrama, and Sannyasa. So, yes, this is according to the mindset and the responsibilities of an individual through these various ages they are traveling. All of us are traveling, in fact. So, on that front, what I would say is people generally moving from Grihastha Ashrama to Vanaprastha Ashrama and Sannyasa Ashrama are the people who are more into the aspect of the geriatrics or the old age related problems which are going to affect them more and more. So, if we see old age, what generally happens is the individual is exposed to lot of such issues such as
You need a number.
arthritis, arthritis, obesity, osteoporosis, vision related issues. It's but natural for the sense organs to become dull. You have hearing issues, vision issues, touch sensitivity, and today, day by day, the issues of cancer and other heart diseases are surging. And of course, elders do always have this concern where they feel they are forgetful. Memory has been a primary this thing. And with the nuclear family system falling in place to a great extent, depression is becoming a part and parcel of the life, not just for the elderly, but for different age groups also. But apart from all these things, yes, constipation and digestive issues are also there. But this is just to understand that, okay, these are the various difficulties and individual faces through time, and how we are going to address it is something which we will see as we go forward. So I think this is a familiar picture for a lot of people who have been married. For people who are single, you will understand when you are going through that phase. So these are true stars called the Arundhati star, especially during marriage. This star is shown by the husband to the wife. So why is that needed here in an elderly program? Ayurveda sees the body and mind as two important principles. The beauty of this Arundhati star is such that both the stars revolve around each other at the same speed with the same magnetic force. So the cooperation of two people is instrumental for this particular formation of the Arundhati star. So, similarly, the body and the mind have to be in synchronization for the people to move on to this phase of old age. Because during the young age, the body takes the lead, and during the older age, the mind takes the lead. It's only the lead, but the other has to follow. So, at various points of time, this can be in comparison to marriage, where the husband has to follow the wife or the wife has to follow the husband, right? So, it's always a give and take policy. The founding principles of Ayurveda very clearly states the right balance of these three pillars of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha is responsible for good health of the individual. When we say good health, it is not just the mind, it is also the body and the Atma. Well, the focus of this entire webinar, I have made it in such a way that when you walk back home, you have 14 different tips which you can either tell it to the elders in your family, or you can follow if you are in that a particular age group. So I would like to introduce you to the mindful 7. Okay, so let's start with M1. If you are tech friendly, I would appreciate a message in the chat box stating M1. Okay, so yes, hot water. It is one of the best solutions for many problems of the body. I think Kerala has been a standing example of this. For hot water or chudu vellam is a part and parcel of day-to-day life, which is seldom seen any other place. So hot water definitely takes the lead. Moving on to M2, that is when you are an elderly person, Vayu takes the lead. That is the wear and tear process takes a edge over the formation process. So eventually, what happens? We are all uh, victim of degeneration in the body. So that is why cold is a friend of degeneration. So hot is always good. So hot water, hot food, very much essential. It plays a key role in keeping the vata under check. The third important aspect, which many of us have been deviated from by the various systems of medicines, but consumption of ghee is proven to be one of the best ways to maintain internal lubrication. It not only maintains the heat balance, but also does a very important role in taking care of the digestion, and also does the lubrication of the joints are well maintained. So just 2 to 3 teaspoons of molten ghee, that is melted ghee, would do a wonderful job. Variety in food is the key. Diet has been a key concern for all of us. We don't know what to eat. Our body asks for something. Our mind says, "For let us go for this," and our heart says, "No, this is what I like." So there's always a constant turmoil. But I think at this particular age, where we have moved on after 40, I think we should stick to a certain discipline and accept that variety is the way forward. So, if you're looking back 10 days behind, there should be less repetition. Of course, our base food continues. If we are a chapati eater, chapati, or a rice eater, rice, this becomes a staple food. We cannot avoid that, but definitely variety should be there. There should be, oh, just because millets is good, there's a lot of fantasy for millets today, but it shouldn't become that all the 14 meals in a week is only comprising of millets. That is definitely wrong. And especially for the elders, because Vayu is always at a higher level, should be kept under check. So 3 to 4 meals in a week is sufficient with regards to millets. Next, a digestion. See, unfortunately, the environment is never under our control, and that is where adulteration and other hazards of the 21st century are a part and parcel of today's life. So, pepper rasam, pepper koot, these are all various dishes which are prepared. When we see the Indian culinary system, right from Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, there is a wide range of food, and every food has cumin seeds, mustards, pepper, turmeric. So we are rich with lot of spices. So there is no deficit there. But when I mention specifically pepper rasam, I mean a dish which is dominant of pepper. So weekly once, this being a part of our diet makes a huge difference. So appetizers become a part of day-to-day necessities. Given the kind of food we are having, processed food many times is unavoidable. Given that children are far away and we are all alone, our nuclear family system has been the order of the day. So given that we are exposed to wide range of heavy foods, appetizers like soap, karanjeeragam, jeera, pepper, all these things make a huge role. Syrups like Madhifala Rasayanam or Ajirna Panchananam play an important role in pepping up your digestion, keeping you under check. The concept of pheromones is something which is not outdated. Even recent studies have proven the importance of having food through hand. When you take the food from the hand and put it in your mouth, the salivation not starts when you put the food in the mouth. It is when you start mixing the food in your plate. So that is the importance of pheromones over here. There is definitely a lot of concentration we should give to our very own culture, which is a part and parcel of our life. Yes, so these are the mindful seven important things which we should be mindful of, which could definitely pepper our entire digestive system, keep our immunity in par with the needs of the age, and thus be successful in maintaining our health. As we go forward, we will discuss few of the old age related problems which could be handled at home, the home tips which can be of help. So, yes, what you see is a lamp, the oil lamp, which is a tradition of the Indian system. The sense organs take a toll due to the day-to-day activities, and with the pandemic around, I don't want to quote the name, with the pandemic around, definitely we have moved digital. So a lot of exposure to gadgets. We switch off the system, we are in front of the mobile. We switch off the mobile, we are in front of the television. So eventually gadgets have become a part of our life. So castor oil lamp, if lit in the room, it is very good for taking care of the eye. The vision being one of the important aspects of majority of our activities can be protected well with castor oil. Even 2 drops of castor oil can be inserted to the medial aspects of the eye. It is very good in keeping your eye cool and reduce the strain on the eye. Of course, boiled milk when it is cooled, and that also 2 drops in your eye is pretty effective in maintaining your eye. Nasyam, or what we call as nasal drops, is another thing which we must definitely follow. I still know a doctor from Chennai who regularly has been installing 3 drops of anutailam in each of his nostrils, and till today is free from any kind of spectacles or add-ons, right? So such inspiring stories are there. There are a lot of elderly people who just walk into my clinic day in and day out to tell me that they are doing well, and these are the things which has been keeping them hale and healthy. So definitely would recommend you to install 2 to 3 drops of this, and this would take you on a long journey. Application of hair oil, especially to the forehead, what we call as a crown of the head, is very important because this plays a key role in shaping up the not only the heat, but also ensures that there is a lot of effect over the chakras. I don't know how many of you are aware of the chakra system. There are 7 chakras in the body, and this being one of the important chakras helps in keeping the heat under bay. And oil bath is one of the key traditional principles as per Ayurvedic classics or as per Ayurvedic texts. We are definitely to follow oil bath on a daily basis. So there is, in fact, a chapter dedicated in our books towards day-to-day regimen. So in that, one of the key principles is given to oil bath. Oil bath not only takes care of lubrication, there are multiple things the oil bath can do. It improves the heat metabolism in the body. It ensures that all the sapta dhatus, that is the seven tissues of the body, is rejuvenated. It gives the needed nutrition to important systems like the nervous system and the muscular system, the skeletal system. In fact, those who have been regular with oil bath and other things have proven to be well built, and they do not fall prey to frequent old age problems like joint disorders, back pains, catches in the system, cramps. We will all be moving on with our day to day life. Suddenly, we try to lift our leg, and there's a cramp there and there's a catch there. So, these have become a part and parcel of our day to day life. And the environment, especially in the urban sector, has been so much so that we are exposed to a lot of radiation. So, drying agents are very high today. So that is where the importance of oil bath has become all the more important today. So definitely oil bath should be done, but understanding that 21st century it is almost impossible to do it on a day-to-day basis. So it is very important that we do at least weekly twice. So the wear and tear is basically more or less taken care of and prevented on a very on the very front. See, we always talk about prevention is better than cure. So that is where oil bath is one of the important things. Now, as a doctor, why am I putting a diary as one of the powerful tools to take care of yourself at this particular age? Um, I think there is lack of attention that is in synonymous with old age. That is, the elderly people in the family always feel left out. The young blood in the family is always behind their career, finances, and other aspects, which we were also into at one point of our time. So the cycle continues, but how is a diary going to help? A diary comes in very handy. It is one of the man's best friend. Books are supposed to be man's best friend. A diary plays an important role here because diary is where you can express yourself. Even in a close knit family where you're all very thick and you're able to share everything, there are things which remain in the back of your mind, constantly poking you or pricking you, and you always sleep with a heavy heart, unknowing what to do. But when you're in a journey, when you're going from point A to point B, say you're traveling from Chennai to Trichy, so, do we carry our luggage on our laps? No, we either put it below our seat, or we put it on the overhead luggage rack, or behind the bus, right? Those are the right places to put a luggage. Why do you want to carry a luggage when you have been provided an adequate space? Similarly, unload your thoughts, put them in your diary. But the only rule of diary writing, which I would suggest to you all, is don't read them again the next day. This is not for self analysis. There are enough number of programs and yogasanas and meditations to take you on an inward journey. Here, I'm not inducing you into an inward journey. This is just like a whistle to a cooker. I want you to express yourself, pour yourself out, because the agitation, frustrations, especially uh, people at this particular age after they cross 40, we all develop the sense of gurukulam. We become the guru. So anybody, instead of keeping the pen this way, we keep it this way, it starts pricking us. Many of us are obsessed with certain principles and certain parts of life. Not saying it is wrong, it is the way we have been born and brought up. But Is that the way forward? Because changing times, we all have to change. So the only way we can let out or vent out is a diary today. The other option you have is talk to a mirror, sit in front of the mirror, spend 10 to 15 minutes a day. Always when we say, okay, we'll say in the morning, we'll see in the evening, it doesn't work. Fix a particular time. Before sleeping, I write a diary, or before sleeping, I sit in front of the mirror and spend some 10 minutes. So that is where I'm talking about a me time. Another thing we all have to do is, this is the age, finally you have the biggest thing which people have always been running around. Even you have been running around for nearly 40, 50 years of your life. That is time. So you have ample amount of time and you don't know what to do with it. So why don't you provoke yourself to do things which you have been always trying to, or always have found lack of time for doing or pursuing a particular activity or a passion of yours. These are all wonderful things which could really be implemented now. Say you always wanted to write a book or an article or a blog. You can pour out all your experiences over the past few years. Today, I think digital platforms are numerous and there is no limitation. The sky is the limit if you are able to adapt and sync yourself with what is happening today. So there are people who want to listen to you. Why don't you reach out to them? Your knowledge is power today and you can always share. So definitely I urge you all to go behind your passion, be it drawing, be it the art you have left long back. Maybe it would be a little difficult to do it compared to what it was at an earlier stage of your life, but better late than never, right? So let us always look into that. Constipation is a growing problem, even for youngsters today. So that is where products like Avipatikara Churnam, Triphala Churnam, these all can play an important role. Take the guidance of the doctor to know what to take when and what is the purpose of doing all these things. So, with that, we have covered nearly 14 important points which you can very simply do in a day to day life. You don't really have to put an extra efforts to pursue these 14 points at all. All you have to do is have these in your day to do list. Say 21 days. Do you all know the magic of 21? 21, and the magic of 21 is such that if you do a task for 21 days continuously, it becomes a habit. So that is the magic of 21. So all you have to do is pursue these things for 21 days through various means, either as an alarm or a reminder, or maybe different parts of the house where you can stick a paper and remind yourself that these are the things I would like to do. So by doing so, what happens is that we get tuned to it. After the 21st day, there is nobody who is in need of a person to remind you of what to do and how to do and other things. Now, what is it that we are trying to achieve through these 14 pointers? What we are trying to achieve here through this 14 pointers is the balancing. Today, antioxidant plays a very important role. If you put this word in Google, you'll the whole world is doing gaga about it. And Ayurveda has been stating it not now, since ages, maybe 5,000 years is as per history, but we don't know how long ago. So as per Ayurveda, it all started with Brahma's Pritva Ayurvedam. So it was remembered by Brahma to and communicated to the rest of Devatas. So we don't know where Ayurveda really started. So what we're achieving through this 14 pointers is the balancing act. So through the balancing act, we are innately improving our immunity day in and day out. And as long as you're able to do that, you have achieved and you should be satisfied with yourself. Now, that is the point I would like to make over here. So, the sync is what we need to do. So, sync is today's technological language. We will look at what I am trying to say towards the end of the slide. So, what is it that I want all of us to get synced to? We are 40, we are 50, we are 60, we are 70, we are 80. So different parts of the body says different things. At 40, the knee says hello. At 50, your body says hello. Different joints says you need to take a break. At 60, yes, apart from the body and the joints, there are other things which says, boss, go slow. I am tagging along, right? So at 70, you're happy that you're struggling. Now, all this can be definitely slowed down and prevented if you are going through these 14 pointers which we have discussed so far. So, the mindful 7 and the powerful 7 can ensure that even at 70, you're up and running, right? How is the leaders of today running the country, right? Many of the leaders across the world are 50 or 60 plus. They are not only powering themselves up, they are powering the nation forward. So I think even in this room, we have eminent personalities like the very own MD of Ashtanga Ayurvedics doing the same. So what is it that I'm trying to say over here? This is our thought process. We want to be young and we want to take the leap of the century or leap of the month, right? And this is where we are at this particular age, where we take a slow walk along a path, right? But is it making you are you feeling dejected just because you're taking a walk instead of a fast run? No, it should not be. Just because your plan was something else and the reality is something else, you shouldn't get dejected. You should be very happy that you are on the move, right? There are a lot of people who are on the beds, who are struggling to move out of their house, and especially during these times of pandemic, we are all glued to our seats, but it is important that we keep ourselves active. Many have been of a dilemma whether to keep ourselves active or to move on. Always sedentary life brings in rust. No, iron, when it is unattended to, develops rust. Similarly, the body always needs a constant push. So keep moving forward, don't become sedentary. We need to not only motivate the mind, the body also has to come along. And at this particular time, that is what I'm trying to convey here. Understand what the body can do and cannot do, and come into an acceptance with, say, if you're able to raise your degree of your leg for 60 degrees, be happy about it. If not for 100 degrees, you will achieve the 100 in 2 3 weeks of persistent efforts. So, what was conveyed through the previous slide is again trying to be conveyed over here. The body is in a particular frequency, and the thought process is also in a particular frequency. What we are to achieve is a synchronization of this body and mind. That is where I started this entire journey of this webinar with the Arundhati Nakshatram, where the body and the mind has to come in a sync. Unless and until we achieve this particular thing, it is always going to be a difficult task for us not to achieve something, to accept our achievements, to appreciate us for the achievements we are achieving today. So, and that is one of the key factors of old age, where we fail to achieve our small accomplishments, which would have been a humongous task for another person of the same age. So let us always take a step, take a pause and look to the sides to appreciate and also to encourage others to come forward. One of the most common difficulties of the elderly is sleep pattern. Sleep pattern has been always a major concern, right? We always have patients. I have a lot of doctors in this room too. So we always have patients walking in stating that they always have difficulty. Whenever the children always say, no, when they ask the elders in the home, did you sleep well? The elders most common reply is, no, I could only lay down my back. I didn't have a proper sleep. This is the most common thing as doctors we listen to. Dear elders, that is where I would like to reach out to you. Please understand that at this particular age, right, sleep becomes a little varying in nature. It is not the same every day. But what is more disturbing to you is you have not accepted the fact it is that varying in nature. So sleep a little during the half an hour during the day. As per Shastras, Ayurvedic Shastras, it very clearly states even half an hour or 1 hour of day sleep is equivalent to 4 hours of night sleep. Right? So if you are not able to sleep during the night, half an hour of sleep can be taken during the day, which would compensate. Definitely, we are all of the understanding that sleep is like recharging your phone, right? You put your phone for charge. So similarly, sleep is definitely a necessary factor. It is one of the three with the upastambhas of life, that is sleep, food, and brahmacharya. These are the three important aspects to good health. So let us all accept that yes, there are going to be variations in our sleep pattern. At such times, the ideal things to do is application of hair oil to the Sahasrahara chakra, or even Shavasana, that is sleeping on your back with your forearms above. Take some deep breathing, concentrate more on your breath. It is not that you're doing something out of your control. So just doing this itself is going to make a huge impact on your sleep pattern. You would see the changes within a week with your sincere efforts of simple savasana or simple meditation techniques, wherein you focus your thoughts and relax your mind. The anxiousness that you're not getting sleep is further leading you to further sleeplessness or insomnia. So that anxiousness will definitely be put under a control by practicing these simple techniques of shavasana or meditation or deep breathing techniques. This would take you on a long way. So, yes, these are frequent issues of the elderly where joint pain, constipation, gastritis, burping. Today, GERD is a very common term used by the patients. That is, there is always some kind of burping and other things. So, all these things can always be addressed to by simple techniques wherein we have these kind of a diet on a constant basis, whether it is milk, buttermilk, butter, pepper. See, pepper is one exception among the spice family which doesn't induce acidity, right? So that is the beauty of pepper. So it can be also taken in terms of uh, pitta related issues. These are all vata related problems, that is joint pains, constipation, constant gas, bloating of stomach, which we find elders commonly having a difficulty with, chest pain. So these items can be here. Yes, Vada, you are seeing the photo rightly. uh, Vada is made out of black gram, so basically it is heavy in nature. So this suppresses the Vayu. That's the reason Vada photo has been put over here. Coming to the problems which are more caused by Pitta, where you have burning sensation in various parts of the body, whether it is piles, fistula, chest burn, acidity, excessive sweating. That is when you can resort to good milkshakes, coconut water, ghee, of course, turmeric. Dry fruits like dates, sweets are also a good add-on over here. Of course, many of us are diabetics, and that is where I would like you to take caution, take the support of your physician who is guiding you, and do the needful there. Butter is definitely a very good instant relief for a lot of acidity and burning. Now, when I've been mentioning about ghee, butter, and other things in the last two slides, many of you would be of the question, do we have the right quality of milk or ghee and other things, which has been a challenge of 21st century. I understand we have challenges. We do not have pure cow's ghee or cow's milk to start with, but let us resort to the best possible available market samples. Okay, let us do our independent researches, or if your consulting physician is able to help you or point you to a particular direction, you can take that particular uh, advice from him, because various places, various different brands, and today A2, A1, these are the different things going around in the market. Always, everywhere you go, there is always a tinge of gray. Nothing is white, nothing is black, right? So you have to accept there are good cows, there are bad cows, there are people who are commercial, there are who are people who are genuine and do the best they can trying to help the humanity. But if you have a direct source, that is where in olden days, no, as a part of the Indian culture, growing of cows was a part and parcel of every household, because there comes the entire change of dairy products, right? But today, being in urban, and given our lifestyle and the way we are moving forward, definitely that is a thing of the past, and not really implementable. But see what is the nearest option that could help you forward. So, last but not the least, kapha related issues like cold, cough, overweight or cholesterol, fatty liver. Today, I think all of us are used to an annual health checkup as a part of the what to say, the benefits the company you're working in gives, or as a part of a protocol where we all want to keep ourselves under check and want to arrest things at the earliest, which is a very good thing. But that is where I always suggest all my patients to have a balance. When, like, these reports are in tune with a map, right? Say when you take a Google map and you're following the Google map blindly, you may hit a house and you may fall down. So let these reports be guidelines so as to which direction to follow. Don't be too much obsessed with the readings in the reports, but at the same time, don't neglect them. There should be a balance. Understand that you are at a particular juncture, you have to reach point B. Take the help of your supporting physician, take the right journey forward. Don't crucify yourself to an extent that you have additional diseases like BP, sugar, and other things which are more when you have more stress, right? So these are the places where you need to give the right balance to yourself. So coming back to the point, cold, wet cough, cholesterol, all these things can be arrested by what, do you know there is a word called golden latte today, which is a fancy term in America and in a huge boost. But to the surprise of Indians, it is none other than our very own turmeric milk, which our mother has been feeding right from the time we were 2 years old, right? So a little bit of pepper and a tinge of turmeric is going to make a huge difference to keeping the phlegm under arrest, especially times of seasonal changes, summer to winter, winter to rain, rain to autumn. When these things are there, please do resort to such things so that your phlegm is always under control and we don't fall into a seasonal cold, which is now looked on upon with hawk eyes. When you sneeze around or you have a cold, you're untouchable currently, right? Amidst the pandemic. So, yes, beware, be cautious, and at the same time, take the right precaution at the right time. Chukku coffee is yet another definitely home remedy which you can take up. Garlic and onion is another thing. Pepper, if you have observed, pepper has been put in all the three problems. So pepper is definitely principal diet all of us can follow, and that is why you find wherever you go to a restaurant you have a pepper bottle on your table, right? So as to ensure that it is a part and parcel of your life. But before I close, I would like to tell you one thing. Ayurveda makes a strong statement that when atiyogo na kartavyo yogam naiva parityajet. You should do things, but at the same time, not overdo things. Today, the size zero is a very important thing today. Uh, Please get in touch with your Ayurvedic doctor. He would give you understanding of what the Ayurvedic BMI is and where new weight or a normal weight for you can be defined by your Ayurvedic doctor. So this is just one example. We do this everywhere: dieting, fasting. All this has become a part of life, whereas Ayurveda doesn't support fasting at all. Especially for the elders, please be away from fasting. Ayurveda supports specific fast, like you want to go on a ganji diet today or a fruit diet today. Yes, that is supported. But a no meal fast is not Ayurvedic way. And your Ayurvedic doctor would be able to guide you why it is so. So these are the different things which you can follow on your day-to-day aspects. Doctors in the group, I think the entire directive in the last 1 hour has been focused towards the elderly, because that was the topic I was given, and I hope I have not bored you all. At the same time, elders, what I would like to state is that by following these 14 pointers and by understanding our new capabilities, as we stay in today's pandemic, the new normal, right? Wherein we have accepted the digital world to be a part of it. And today you're all here to listen to me over here. So, similarly, accept the new yourself at every passing age. Age is just a number. It is age of the body, but not the soul. You have the sky as your limit. So once you are in acceptance and you're in tune, I think you're one with nature, and definitely you can achieve a lot more. And that's it from my end. I hope I have done justice to the topic given to me, and I'm open to questions from the room if at all you have any. I
Thank you, doctor. So I don't think you need to, change away the page where you have given your contact details. Maybe at the end of the session, maybe we can put it again. If
Yes, sure,
uh,
sure, sure.
while we are answering the question answers, you can put it again. So doctor is actually very open to talking to all whoever is in need of wanting to talk to him personally as well. His hospital has a system of online consultation which is very good. What he's doing is he's recording all your data as well, so that he can have a look at it later if need be. So he has all the collection of data of the patients as well. So you would be in very safe hands going to Dr. Sri Krishna. So with that, I would like to start the question answer session. Doctor, are you fine with starting the question answer session?
Yes, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. So yes, so just before I start the question answer session, just a reminder for the audience. So good evening, everybody. So here again, I'm telling you, chat box is open for questions. Doctor is also open for questions directly if you need to ask. But then we need to make sure there is no, disturbances in the audio. And also at the end of the session, that is now soon, we will be sharing the link for the feedback. So you can put your feedback in the link through the link, and with that, the e-certificates will be sent to you within a period of 24 hours. So with that, I'd like to start the question and answer session. The first question, How do we deal with general malaise after an overactive day? Any painkillers in Ayurveda that can help at home?
Definitely. At this point, what I would say is the jeera in your kitchen, say 2 glasses of water and 2 teaspoons of jeera, if boiled and made into a jeera tea, reduced to half, this would be one of the best painkillers where it could reduce to a significant level your pain within 15 minutes. I'm not talking about a high number of waiting time. At the same time, Dhanvantra is one of the beautiful medicines in Ayurveda. 6 tablets of this with jeera tea is going to play wonders with regards to pain, and it plays a very significant role there.
Thank you, doctor. So that's a great advice. So I hope all have noted that down. Dhanvantaram Gulika is one Gulika which does not have any, as per se, it does not need much of an attention where it should be coming under a consultation issue. There are medicines in Ayurveda as well
Yes.
which should come under consultation. It should not be, it is not that all herbal medicines are over the counter. So, but here Dhanvantaram Gulika is one such thing which you can keep at home on an SOS basis and which would help. So the next
Please don't
question,
get addicted to it.
that is also there. So the next question, diabetic patient with degenerative bone disease can be advised for physical activity, exercise or walking.
A diabetic patient with degenerative bone disease, see, that is where I would say instead of physical activity like exercise or walking, small, simple maintenance based exercises where they sit and rotate their hands, legs, or even sleep cycling where they sleep on their back and slowly lift one leg, give a five, do just rotate the leg in the cyclic fashion forwards and backwards. This would keep the joints a little pepped up. So too much of activity is definitely to be avoided here.
I would also like to add
Yes,
something, doctor.
please,
So,
doctor.
yes, doctor, what you had said was perfectly right. And activity is only needed and necessary when the patient feels comfortable, until the patient feels comfortable. Maybe after a particular point, the patient is not going to feel comfortable, he can stop there. So, Laghavam Karma Samarthyam Deepto Agni Medasa Kshaya Vibhakta Gana Gatratvam Vyayamad Upajayate. That is the viewpoint of Vyayama. So, Vibhakta Ghana Gatratva should be there, and karma samarthya should be done. So whatever is going to help in the activity in any kind of karma, that is great. But whatever is going to hamper it, then we should stop. So that is what I think I would have added to what doctor
Lovely,
had said.
lovely. Yes, yes.
Uh, so
Don't
okay,
tire yourself when you,
huh?
as you rightly put across, you should not tire yourself. If your
Yes.
capacity is 2, you need not do 10.
Excuse me, doctor, for keeping on adding something or the other. Yeah, so the next question is nice points. Okay, but please tell me what is the Vanaprastha Avastha in present day scenario?
Well, uh, one thing is hands in the forest, hands in the society, heads in the forest. This is a famous quote, right? So, Vanaprastha doesn't literally mean that you have to go to a forest and lead a saintlyhood. Being in the society, leading your day-to-day responsibilities, either of taking care of your children or whatever, but being detached from it. That is, you should not expect a fruit out of this activity. That is called vanaprastha. It is a mental state, not a physical state over here.
Very nicely put, doctor. So the next question is, after COVID vaccination to the elders, is there any food restriction, or what are the regimens which they can follow through our system?
See, the general regimens has been time and again put across by various Ayurvedic doctors. In fact, for the last 1.5 years, uh, the ideal suggestion to you would be to stick to hot foods, hot water, ideal proportion of turmeric, pepper, jeera, and other things being a part of your day-to-day activities. So, I mean, food is what I mentioned here. So specific food restriction, as far as I know, is not there. But Dr. Girish or Dr. Shashi, if you have something to add in, I would be very happy to listen to you.
I think there is nothing specific I would like to add, because the daily regimen mentioned as per our text has been already mentioned by Dr. Srikrishna while he was talking. And I was very happy to note that these are things which Dr. Srikrishna has put forth, that these are things which you can do on a daily basis regularly every day. Now, COVID vaccination is not going to be completely different here. So here also, as long as we both discussed, even including the exercises, if the patient is feeling comfortable and healthy, doing all the activities on a healthy note is great. Now, an addition of the daytime sleep is also indicated in the elderly by Ayurveda. So whenever the patient is feeling tired, or his body would actually ask, so it is actually the norm here that you listen to the body. We have forgotten to listen to our body. If you are thirsty, the body would ask. If you're hungry, the body would ask. But what happens? Look at the time. Okay, it is time to have food. Look at the time to drink a lot of water. No, if your body is asking, go forward with it, but never have anything in excess, because that is going to be a cause for trouble later. So here again, I think not in any particularity for COVID vaccination, people can go forward with the daily regimens as per advice doctor had given. Anything to add, Mr. K.S.Varier? Mr. K.S.Varier, although not being a doctor, he's been having an experience of talking about Ayurveda and giving out views about Ayurveda to a lot of circles. He's part of a lot of educational groups, colleges, and he gives a lot of talks on healthy living. And I think you must all have noticed our YouTube channel, where he has given a lot of talks on listening to the body. So that's where I had learned about listening to the body and listening to looking after health. My first teacher was him before going to Ayurveda at all.
Definitely.
Then, okay, the next question is, can walking help
to, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, can walking help to reduce aches and pains in OA?
In osteoarthritis, what I would suggest is, instead of walking, resort to cycling in sleeping position, wherein you are giving your knee joint the needed activity. At the same time, you're not putting too much weight on it and overstraining your knee. So that would be my advice at this point.
Yes, doctor. I am 56. My job requires me to sit continuously for 2.5 hours in 2 sessions.
Okay. So I do understand that you are sitting a long time. My general suggestion would be, first thing is, buy a water cushion or something like that, so that there is always a constant moving in the chair where you are sitting. Because being elderly, heat can be very easily transferred, and today's chairs and all, not everything is heat dissipating. Before, in olden times, we had wooden chairs, we were sitting on the ground, so dissipation of heat was good. So that was one thing. And don't hang your legs for long. That would again cause a this thing. So have a small stool where you can place your feet. This would be my general advice given your sitting position.
If you are sitting for a long time, you may actually shift your positions, if not possible, if the chair is not comfortable. One thing, I mean, chair not comfortable being what we told today. Another thing is, it is always good if you can actually shift your position, as doctor said, because if you're hanging your legs for a long time, then go forward a little bit and keep your feet on the ground, and the other way as well. So a shift in the position would actually help.
I think the question is not complete.
Yeah.
The question is not complete. Some portion has been left out. So I think he can come online and tell us what it is.
Sure.
Maybe can you come?
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah, please go on.
In fact, I have stated later because in between I had a break. Somebody else came in, and I written the next portion.
Oh, is it? Okay.
See, it's
Okay.
just that I continuously sit for 2.5 hours. I have a break of 45 minutes. Again, I sit for 2.5 hours. Sitting is not a problem. My posture is not a problem. All that is managed. I can sit there, no problem. And I can also lift my leg. I can keep the leg moving. All those is all right. But after I finish my job and get up, I have a problem to walk straight. See, I can still walk, but I'll be dragging my feet.
I understand, sir. I think what I mentioned, if you can do something like that, it would be of help because you're in a position where you cannot move, and you will have to ensure that you have a comfortable seating position, ensure that your legs are not hanging. At the same time, a water cushion or something which would ensure that constantly heat is not produced in the body. Anything else you would like to add, doctor?
Yes, I think the issue would be because of the compression on the sciatic nerve. So again, that is where I think we need to move a bit, like maybe a little bit, once too regularly, I guess, if you're sitting for a longer time, because the sciatic nerve compression we cannot help because we are going to sit on our gluteal muscles. It's going to happen if you are going to sit for a longer time. So that would be great if you can, while sitting itself, if you actually, I am not able to show you, if you actually stretch your leg a bit, if that is possible, and while you're stretching, shift. So that would actually help in the dragging part. The dragging might reduce if that can be done.
Stretching is not actually a problem. I stretch.
Yeah.
I
No,
stretch
while you are stretching,
see, will it help to remove the shoes? Because I'll be wearing the shoe always.
Not to a significant level, sir.
No. So
removing your shoes may not help significantly. But here, what I would like to add is you can actually address the issue itself and completely get relieved of sciatica sort of a problem. And then these regular maintenance techniques which we are suggesting will ensure that you will not have the reoccurrence of the problem at all. So a lot of such measures are there, internal medication, sectional treatment, which could help you.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is, after running with some speed, I get muscular pain the next day. Any simple solution?
See, that is the general suggestion we give even for gym goers and other people, where they on the first day of the gym, no, we will have all the zones wherein we lift the maximum weights and the even for jogging, no, that we try to reach the maximum strength. Second day, we won't have that necessary Josh. So here is where always continuity is more important than a sudden push. So yes, if you're running with speed on a regular basis, it will not make much of a difference because the continuity is there. But here, as a simple solution, what would help you is hot water bath, right? And you can also soak your legs in hot water in a bucket, wherein you can put rock salt. This also plays a significant role in bringing down the muscular pains. So whether it is gym, jogging, or any kind of running exercise, ensure that slowly you aggravate. Say first day it is 5 push-ups, second day it is 10 push-ups, third day it is 15 push-ups. That's how you reach the 50-60 mark. Knowing your capacities and building your capacity. So that is what would be the right way forward.
Thank you, doctor. So I would like to remind everybody, there is the link in the chat box. One of our team members, Mr. Vigneshwaran, has shared the link here. So please go forward with giving the feedback. You will get your e-certificates after filling the feedback within 24 hours. So moving on to the next question, doctor. Nowadays, most of the elderly people present with crepitus without pain. What is the treatment for it and how to prevent it?
Yes, crepitus, like see, that is where K.S.Varier series and other things, no, where we are starting to observe the body. I'm very happy you put across this question, Jansi. So basically, what you have to understand is crepitus is the first sign of dryness in the body. So if you start with the 14 pointers have done itself, within 1 or 2 weeks, you should find a significant difference. If that is not so, please meet one of us. We would be able to give you some treatments like Janu Asti and other things, which would help improve the lubrication in your joint. Crepitus is most oftenly seen in the knee joint. If that's not so and it is seen somewhere else, that also can be addressed with a different kind of treatment. So that is how we can prevent it. Oil baths on a frequent basis definitely prevent crepitus in the body.
Yes, doctor. So I think within this chat box, the questions are over. No, one more question. I get calf muscle pain and I get relieved when I apply pressure. Any particular reason why I get frequent calf muscle pain?
There can be many reasons for calf muscle pain. One of it could be overactivity. If that is there, try to regulate your activity. And calf muscle pain is definitely relieved with pressure. I think many of the techniques are available today on the digital media. So, particular reason we will have to explore together in one-to-one, where we find what is the cause, because according to your lifestyle and according to your activities, different reasons can be there. So we can do that.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. The next question is: a big risk for elderly people is falls and subsequent fractures. While this is obviously cannot be completely prevented, do you have any suggestions about this? What can be done to avoid this, and how can elderly people recover from fractures?
See, once you are into a fracture, definitely there is already a preset protocol where you have to undergo whatever has to be done. But alternatively, when I have already mentioned in one of the 14 pointers, oil bath ensures the strengthening of the bone. So though bone as such in Ayurveda is a Vayu dominant tissue, the oiling of the bone helps in the strengthening also. That is where good medicines in Ayurveda are there, which can be applied during the time of fracture. Your Ayurvedic doctor can also help you there. Oils like Murivenna, which is very famous and used widely across by people, even without doctor's prescription. These are all one step forward. Whereas a doctor will also give you internal medicines which can strengthen your bones. So that can be done. I hope I have answered the question rightly.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
So, hi, doctor. I am an athlete. My doctor told me to reduce on my exercises, which I do not want to. Any suggestions?
See, that's where I said, Sadashiv, we have to understand the capabilities. So, if you're not very old and you want to pursue your athletic activities, I'm fine with that. With the day-to-day regulations which I have quoted during my talk, I think you can pursue your activities. And added to that, you may have to add in some more rejuvenating medicines which you may have to take internally, say like ashwagandha lehyam or something like that, so as to pursue your activity. But if you're old and you're overdoing, please follow your doctor's advice. Reduce it to half. We are not asking you to stop. See, it is more important that till 90 you're pursuing your activity rather than stopping at 60 and being bedridden for the rest of the life. Right? There's a huge difference to that. So regulate is what we are saying, not stop. So because I don't know how old you are, this would be my advice to you.
Okay. So, okay, Mr. Ravi has put forward, how can I prevent degeneration due to osteoporosis in my parent?
Yes, degeneration can be very well prevented by the simple understanding of Panchamahabhutas. That is, when something is lacking in the body, we take it from the nature and give it to you. So if your food is more gravy, if you have adequate amount of ghee and milk products, if you have if you can reduce on things which are vata inducing, the underground tubers like potato, sweet potato, channa, sprouts, these all can, to a great significant level, help you with preventing degeneration or your parents going in for osteoporosis.
Thank you, doctor. So with that, we come to the end of the questions in the chat box. But if anybody has any questions who want to, directly ask the doctor, the session is open, I think. Yes, doctor? Do we have time, a little more time for that?
Definitely, doctor.
Thank you. So you may please, if anybody needs to ask any more questions, please feel free to do that. Just a reminder, the link is already there in the chat box for the feedback. Any more questions?
So, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
See, there's something which is totally, what do you say, contradictory to what Ayurveda says when you go to a physiotherapist.
Right.
So regarding the pains which Mr. K.S.Varier was speaking about, you go for a game. See, I played a game of cricket 2 days back. See, when you do that, what happens is immediately there is some injury somewhere. No doubt there's an internal injury. Now you go to a physiotherapist, he asks you to keep, frozen ice. You have a cold pack rather than a hot water bath. That's a totally different thing. So which should you follow? Actually, cold pack actually gives you relief. No doubt about it.
Definitely. Now, this is where the concept of tensile strength comes into play. That is, when you improve the strength of the muscle or the bone on a regular basis, the question of you having a pain will also be pretty less. But at such junctures, the medium chosen by both of us is about the primary principle in which we have been groomed into. So in Ayurveda, we always look at the root cause and try to address it from that particular junction. So a hot water bath, what it does, or a hot shower, it ensures that the relief is there from the underneath. Whereas a cold pack, when you apply it over there, you will immediately find the relief. But afterwards, the effectivity, say if the intensity of the pain is put it at 1 to 10, say if it is at 10, it will come down to 2 or 3. But beyond that, you may not find the difference in pain. Whereas in hot, you would have a complete relief. Maybe you may have to do 1 or 2 times, but you definitely you will bring down the pain to the level of 0 in the scale of 1 to 10.
There is also the concept of dilation of the blood vessels here. So the constriction as well as dilation, on no doubt the cold pack would work, because in Ayurveda as well, cold treatments are also mentioned as part of when we look into Agni Karma, when we go into detail about Agni Karma, there is some aspects where the cold aspects is also mentioned there. So this works as a very good short-term factoring where the pain relief happens immediately. Now the blood corpuscles would constrict, and thereby the movement is restricted, thereby the pain gets restricted. What Ayurveda also suggests, the hot pack kind of a thing, is actually, just as doctor mentioned, the movement is actually given more space, the expansion is happening, and it might take a little longer, but it would work also. So both are actually good. For an immediate relief, maybe the cold pack would do better. It is always good to go for the hotter aspect, because the body is more used to warmer things.
To put it in simple words, it's like switching off a switch. You make the place numb, so automatically you find that the pain is gone. But in reality, it is there underneath. Whereas in a hot, when you do a hot fermentation or something like that, we are not just mitigating the pain, or the sense of pain we are not mitigating. We are actually giving you relief. That is the basic difference between that.
Thank you.
I have a comment here, doctor. An enlightening session presented in a very engaging, reassuring manner.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Anybody have any more questions? Okay, there is another comment. Great session. Kudos to Dr. Srikrishna for the very informative session, and to Dr. Girish and Ashtanga for organizing this session. Thank you. Thank you.
I would take this opportunity to thank the entire team of Ashtanga Ayurvedics, and very happy to share the stage with all the top heads of the institution. I'm glad that I have also known your history, and you have also been there for 2 generations, and it's nice to share the same space.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
And thank you for the invite.
Thank you, Doctor. I would like to, before we go to the end of the session, then I would, if nobody else have any questions, I would like to ask our medical superintendent, Dr. T.V. Narayana-Varier, to give a few words on today's session.
Hello, Dr. Srikrishna.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good evening.
Just a very nice talk. Actually, I missed for the first 15 minutes. I came late. So the rest of 40 minutes is a nutritional tonic. Okay. You have mentioned 2 points I just like very much, because the diary writing.
Yes.
One. The second one, the engagement of elderly people. Generally, what the people feel after retirement means they have nothing to do.
Agreed.
Actually, that is the time they have to do much more to the society. It is my opinion. Be positive always.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
So, okay, for your nice talk. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
He has completed 50 years of service.
Wow.
He is 1971 batch from Kottakkal.
That is what I was mentioning. No, there are few people in this own team.
Doctor, I also would like to mention recently, Vaidyaratnam Group has honored him with an award for his service to the society. It was given to him last Friday. Conferred to him last Friday, when they were also honoring other senior doctors in the field.
It's an honor, doctor. Congratulations. Really hats
Okay,
off
thank you.
to the achievement.
Would anybody else like to share a few feedback as well, other than questions? I would ask Mr. Joe Taliat to give a feedback. Joe, sir, can you give us a feedback?
Sorry, yeah, I thought, Doctor, it was a great presentation. I am here as a customer, as a consumer, and I really enjoyed the whole presentation, not because it was theoretical. I thought it was more practical for me, right? Mostly when I go to a doctor or when I go meet somebody, you know, there are a lot of things that they say. They don't say why should I do it and why should it work. So you told me a lot of things. I'm an old man. I have all the problems that you have told me, including that sleep disorder, and I wanted to correct the sleep disorder, right? After this conversation, I've realized that I cannot correct it. Probably I should enjoy what I'm enjoying, right? So what I wanted to do actually was to sleep from 11, and everybody is forcing me to sleep from 11, whereas I get good sleep in the morning, right? But you know, I was trying to change it with medication, and you know, all those things. I went and met a doc. He told me, listen, you need to take this medicine. I took that medicine. Then my daughter is a doctor herself. He said, are you mad? I mean, you're getting old. You first realize that you're getting old, right? And we forget that we are getting old, and we want to do things that that you know we were used to doing probably years back. So with this talk, you know, the most I've learned is 2-3 things, right? One is, yeah, you need to respect your age and you need to respect what you should be doing at whatever age. That first few slides of yours very clearly told me, yeah, I mean, there are certain stages in life where you need to look at it practically. And that's what I loved about your presentation. The second thing that I want to tell you was it was quite enlightening because, you know, you've touched upon all the problems and told us very nicely that, boss, this is how the world is, this is how the nature is, right? You need to manage it rather than correct it or fight it, right? If you want to enjoy life, that's what you need to do. So that to me is a big point. Your 14 key points I thought was a was a really nice way of articulating and memorizing the things that we shouldn't do. I was about to write a question to you, then I said, yeah, listen, after listening to you, if I write that question and ask you, I'll be seen as stupid. What I wanted to write and ask you is that, listen, at the age of 56, how much should I walk, right? Then I said, yeah, listen, the answer is there in what you said. Yeah, listen, you should walk only up to what you can because you are not going to participate in Olympics anymore, correct? So, that way it is really great. Thank you for all the answers. And I had an ulterior motive of attending this session. I wanted to learn a little more about Ayurveda and how it works, and I wanted to probably get into little bit of understanding of the Ayurveda and the principles of Ayurveda, and that's why I was here. So I've got some input. I've got some ideas to promote the Ayurveda thing. So for me, it was great. It was quite enlightening and really, really satisfying. Thank you, Doc. And your articulation is really great.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
So contrary to Joe, contrary to your statement, see, I am 58 and I am preparing for my state meet.
Okay.
I'm participating in Tamilnadu state meet in the 100 meters, 200 meters, long jump, triple jump.
That is great. That is great.
But you have tuned yourself that way, sir. So it is not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ravi, sir.
I would like to get a recording of what has gone through today.
It will be put up soon.
Because those 14 points, I would like to see it again and again.
Ready, Rekna.
And I don't want to write it down on a paper and say it. I would like to do it this way.
I
So
think
that shows the efficacy of the talk.
yes, I think doctor and me, we could actually work on a pictorial representation as well on the 14 points, maybe.
Please
And,
do.
We can share it with whoever needs those points.
Instead of just reading it, when you also see the person who told you this, it's better. Actually, it goes into your brain better.
Yes.
I think the whole world would need it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was an excellent presentation, Doctor. If I could say a few things about the speech, the excellent language used, very clear and candid language used, very, certain analogies like carrying luggage and all were excellent, very well put. And as Joe said, the 14 pointers, the 7 mindful and 7 powerful pointers, very simply interesting, it kindles the interest in you to listen to you. And such a presentation was absolutely, mind-boggling. It is really worthwhile sitting here for 1 hour or 1.5 hours listening to you. Simple explanations, very, very articulate, and absolutely positive in approach. That is the crux of the point. Positivity in approach of the presentation was what caught my attention. Thank you very much for this. It will be remembered.
Overwhelmed by your words, sir. Thank you so much.
So thereby we come to the end of the session. I hope nobody else have any feedback to share so that we don't miss that. With that, we
has any feedback? No. No. Yes.
Okay, it was an honor, Dr. Srikrishna, for you being part of this session today. It was a great session. We had great interaction as well, and almost all the audience had something to ask or get something out of you. So that's a great session. Thanks to you, Dr. Srikrishna. Thanks to Shree Group of Institutions, Shree Ayurveda. So. It would be wonderful if we can have more of such talks with you, Doctor.
Very open to it, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. And it has been an honor for sharing the space, as I said, with Dr. Narayanan sir, Dr. Shashi sir, and you. And nice to get in touch with the entire Ashtanga Ayurvedic team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So with that, we come to the end of the session. I wish all of you a great evening. All of you from India, a great evening, and from overseas, a great day ahead. So thank you all. Thank you.